You guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Shama channel. How you guys doing? We are here on a Thursday. It's a weird day to be doing a match preview, but a Thursday evening. I'm still on my Christmas break, but Inter and Serie A continue tomorrow into kickoff against Genoa away at 7:45 p.m. UK time. Kickoff 8:45 local time. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. It's not going to be an easy one, and we are still without Lautaro Martinez and Fede Di Marco. So two key players still missing, but should be enough to do the job. And we'll talk about all that. And there was also the kind of the breaking news of the growth decree in Italy being confirmed that it's going to be abolished. That it's going to be cancelled. The taxation benefits that clubs used to get for foreign players. That's another thing to bring Italian football down even further. And then some here and there some transfer news. See if there's any updates on the Tejon Buchanan rumors or the Lucien Agume, who might be leaving to Sevilla. There's rumors of interest from Sevilla, so we'll try to cover a few topics in this live stream. But let me first give out a shout out to everyone that's in the house. User person53, you need to get yourself a proper username, but Charles Dia Sharma for the Inter, let's do it. Eric G, hope you're having a great day. Chase from Canada. Eric G, hope you enjoyed yesterday's scout report video I made on Tejon Buchanan. I'm sure, and I saw lots of Canadian Interisti excited about this, obviously with the Canadian bias, which I can't blame them for. This is a very rare moment for Canadian Interisti, Canadians in general, but then even more niche Canadian Interisti for them. If the Tejon Buchanan deal goes through, it's a very big deal. Marcello Monti in the house. Lautaro was training by himself today. Let's hope he'll be available for Verona. Yeah, so I think all signs are pointing to Lautaro returning against Verona. He definitely won't be there tomorrow with the boys, but yeah, he's back running and still training by himself, but he should be back with the team in the coming days. Harry in the house, hope you're good. Won't be able to stay for the whole stream, but I'll be here for the beginning. I'm feeling confident about tomorrow. Got a feeling Arnautovic will score. I hope so, Harry. Again, I went kind of against the grain. Seemed like the last match against Lecce seemed like he was the scapegoat of Interisti, even though I thought he had a very good game. It was just that he missed chances that he should have scored for sure, but his overall game was really, really good. And we always say, the one thing you always say about a striker, you have to get worried when they're not getting into goal-scoring positions, when that means their movement is not good, or they're just not fit enough to get into those positions, or the chemistry with the teammates is not there. But Arnautovic was the opposite. He was getting in all sorts of really, really good positions, but just his ice cold finishing wasn't there. But if he continues going like this, I'm confident that he will return. Sanchez is the one that's worrying, because he's not really showing much signs of life, apart from the penalty he scored, the tap-in he scored against Salzburg, was it? But in general, Sanchez is the one that's really looking like a dusted player. Arnautovic, to me, has shown some signs of life at least. Matteo, hope you are doing well, brother. Nikos, thank you for tuning in from Larissa. Cartel in the house was good. Australia. Arnautovic injured again. Bring back Correa. Is he injured? I'm pretty sure Arnautovic. I haven't read any injuries of or reports of Arnautovic. I know they said he's not 100%. If you mean by that, then yeah, maybe he's got he's not 100%, which is out of the Arnautovic signing, my main worry was his injury history, not his quality, but his injury history. So that's good. I hope there's not a report that I haven't read yet, Mattia, that it says Arnautovic is injured, because then they'll be in trouble, because this is the match that I would be more worried by in terms of Lautaro missing, rather than Lecce at home. You're at home, Thuram and everyone coming on, and the midfielders scoring, or the one defender scoring like they did, then it works. But away at Genoa, when they'll make life difficult, the fans are on their side. We've seen it, that Genoa, last time we played Genoa, what ended 0-0 at their ground. So, and that was when we were chasing the Scudetto against Milan. So that it is a difficult place to go. And Juve, recently Juve just went there and drew. Edson, hope you are doing well. Yeah, Cartel, we'll get into the predicted lineups. I'm sure Arnautovic is starting. Yeah, but he will play despite. Oh, yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Marvel Lawson, bonjour, hope you are doing well, or bonsoir. Hit that like. Oh, yeah, look at that. I always forget, but Mattia never forgets. Before we continue, guys, please, please, please hit that thumbs up because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. The powers to be behind the YouTube algorithm, I think that's what they say, that the thumbs up and commenting and subscribing helps. Football's getting big in Canada, all the kids into it now. That's good news, James. Obviously not to the level that we hope for it to be, but I'm sure it's much improved compared to the last decade or so. Yo, uncle Bulgarian Scott is like the video, boys. Nice, Stanislav. Zdrasti. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Shakir. Hope you are doing well. Edson, oh yeah, you caught my Buchanan Scout video. Thank you. Again, the video I made on Buchanan is from the viewpoint of someone that doesn't watch Club Bruges regularly, but I think it's pretty clear to see what type of player he is, and you can see why all the Valentino Lazzaro, comparisons are being made. Yes, it doesn't fill you with confidence getting compared to Valentino Lazzaro, but it's, can you make it work? And the Lazzaro signing, clearly Conte didn't buy into that one. At least I'm hoping that, because we've scouted this guy for so long, that Inzaghi has bought into it and he's willing to put his time and effort into him. Whereas clearly Conte was just like, who the hell is this guy from Austria that you signed for me? Send him out alone. 6 months in, he sent him out. We send him out to like Newcastle, then Gladbach, then Benfica. Like, yeah, that's a whole shit show, that whole transfer. It's clearly visible about Arnautovic because, yeah, that's another thing. Like, you can see, not just him, the teammates, you can tell, really care about Arnautovic. You saw all the body language, the way they were talking about him afterwards as well. He looks like he's really gelled in the dressing room really well. He seems to be friends with everyone, and everyone, wants him to score. You saw how many times people were even in shooting positions. Barella, Mkhitaryan, a couple of times. Like, they could have shot, but they want to get this guy a goal so badly that they kept passing to him, and you can definitely see that. Why am I standing position? Because I've got a standing desk and I got to make use of it. And it's good for my back because I sit down all day. I have a remote job. I work from home, so I need to be up and about. Buchanan is okay. Cautiously excited. Ideally, as a Canadian interest, I dream of Alphonso. Yeah, I mean, that is wishful thinking. But imagine Fonzie Davis on that left-hand side. I mean, we're all right on the left-hand side, but Alphonso Davis as a wing-back, unleashed with less defensive responsibility. Woo, that would be crazy. Genova away is dangerous. They took a point away from Juve and one last game. Exactly, Mattia. And they have Malinovsky in their team. Remember that left foot that's made of nuclear material left over from Chernobyl, the Ukrainian deadly left foot, back in Serie A after his weird stint away at Marseille in Ligue 1. He's back in Serie A with Genoa, and he's already scored a couple of real cracking goals, as he always does, Malinovsky. So you always know you have to watch out for those shots from distance. It's going to be very tough against Genoa. We don't have Gagliardini anymore. God, thank the Lord we don't have that guy anymore. Be sick striker. What am I reading today about Inter going bankrupt? If you're, I guess Count D'Angeli is on Twitter. That shows that he's on Twitter. But basically, there was the usual rubbish that goes around. Every year seems like it. They recycle the same news every year. Let me see if I can find it, because I did a counter tweet towards it. So basically today, some of these bigger accounts that are all, they're all aggregation accounts, aggregators. They don't actually post any news of theirs. They just post headlines from other news outlets. So Il Giornale, which is a Italian newspaper today, it's a big one, but it's not really a big like football or sport one. They made an article on, Inter on the verge of bankruptcy. Only the Brozovic and Arna sale allowed business continuity in 23-24, which is kind of true, because we do need these sales to continue in terms of being able to have liquidity and buy players and all that kind of stuff. But, very sensationalist headline that's on the same lines of, if you remember when Conte left, Hakimi, Lukaku left. These were the type of headlines that were flying around on Twitter. Once again, deadline day live, blue tick account, breaking. Inter Milan is heading towards liquidation. The plan is to sell every player who receives a bid. Selling Lukaku isn't the end. Lautaro Martinez, Barella, De Vrij, no one can be certain of wearing the Inter shirt next season. And funnily enough, all of those guys after Lukaku have continued wearing the Inter shirt. And again, source was Corriere, all these sensationalist headlines. But actually, I mean, in 2021, because things were so unclear and the waters were so rough, I kind of understand back then, but every summer we're hearing the same stuff. So yeah, complete BS. Or it's not complete BS. Like, we know as Interisti, our situation isn't, I'm not going to act like we're completely fine and, everything is dandy and flowers are blooming and there's butterflies everywhere. But the important thing is that we have a stable team of directors. The ownership isn't stable, but we're not heading towards liquidation or bankruptcy, because if Suning fails to pay back the loan that they took out from Oak Tree, we're not failing as a club. Oak Tree takes us over. Oak Tree, and then they will just sell us to whoever wants to buy us for probably a much cheaper price than what Steven Zhang wants to sell us. But pretty useless stuff. And all the Prem heads and everyone commenting like, "Oh, let's go buy Lautaro. Oh, let's go buy Barella for a cheap price now." So just people, headlines. I can't even blame them, because they haven't even posted an article or anything. These people just posted a headline: Inter Milan on the brink of bankruptcy. So people are just like, let me read a few of these comments actually. Barella to Liverpool, who says no? Says Vitor 210. So Liverpool fans are in here. So look, what else? Oh, look, and then there's even people. Oh, then they reject the Super League. What clowns they are! Oh no, we rejected the league that doesn't even exist. Oh no, what are we ever gonna do? The non-existing money that hasn't come into a non-existing bank account. Oh, constant scrutiny from UEFA towards Inter Milan has been a major factor in this. Meanwhile, clubs like PSG can do whatever they want without any repercussions. The Super League is needed. Well, actually, I shouldn't have read it like that. That one actually makes sense. But the Super League is bad from a Real Madrid fan. Oh yeah, there you go. Is it Liverpool fans seem like are the ones being the Prem tards in here. Barella, come to Liverpool to save Inter's future. Imagine being broker than Barca. Okay. They thought we wouldn't find out from a Barca fan by the looks of it. Yeah, that's hypocrisy at its best. Super League is bad, earn it on the pitch. So you see here, even Madrid fans, because we've rejected the non-existing Super League. They feel butthurt over that. Yeah, they rejected the Super League. Yeah. Just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. What are we gonna do, guys? What are we gonna do? But anyway, let's get back. Actually, I'll save that for Marvelous, and I'll save that for when we get into the predicted lineups. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see about that Cartel, whether he's a huge improvement, 2.0 Lazzaro, because he was actually doing better. So Lazzaro was doing better in a better league than Buchanan is doing right now when we signed Lazzaro, because he was putting up double-digit numbers for Hertha Berlin in the Bundesliga, which is definitely a much better league than the Belgian league, in a better team, of course, better players, but in a better league. So I don't know about that. But we'll have to see. I think it all depends on what Buchanan wants to make of this, because clearly Lazzaro came and thought, this is it. This is my, I've got my big salary now. I'm a baller, whatever. He didn't really work to, round out his game as he should have, and it didn't work out. He never really got the opportunities, I'll be honest. I've always said that. he never got the opportunities. And he's a decent player now for Torino, but just definitely not worth 20 plus million or whatever we paid for him. Yeah, so I mentioned this. This is something also I want to cover. I mean, I guess we're on the topic of kind of finances and things like that. So a few months ago, the oh yeah, by the way, hi Debbie, hope you guys are doing well. The Decreto Crescita, which is the growth decree, I'll explain it once again very quickly for if you don't know what it is. It's a tax benefit that allows Italian, this is not just football, it's Italian companies, Italian firms. If you employ someone from abroad, you get a tax break on the salary, so you pay less. The person gets the same amount net, but you pay less in gross taxes because a company pays in the gross value of the taxes, and then the employee ultimately gets the net, after all taxes and insurance, whatever, paid off. So that's what, with footballers, this is how Inter were able to sign players like Marcus Thuram, Pavard, Ericsson, or whichever players you want to talk about, foreign players that we've signed over the last few years, not even recent ones, just over the last I think it's been running for like 4 or 5 years, this Decreto Crescita. Even Conte used to benefit from this because we signed him after he had spent 2 years abroad. AC Milan, half this team is benefiting from this because half the team is foreign. And now it's not a footballing decision, it's the Italian government decision that this Nikos, it says there, for the last 5 years. So now all Italian companies, including sport and football, they won't be able to benefit from this anymore. A few weeks ago, I spoke about it, and it looked like the news was, it looked like the way that the official statement was worded, that football was not involved, that football would somehow be kind of circumnavigating this, or they will allow a little bit of a leeway for football teams in Italy to still take advantage of this. Because, at the end of the day, it does help Italian teams. Roma wouldn't be able to afford Lukaku's wages, even if it's just a loan. They wouldn't be able to afford his wages coming back. As I said, like, how we're benefiting with Thuram, Pavard, guys like that. Big savings, a big saving. I think it's like around 20% you save on those taxes. We're talking about millions here. So these are big savings. So it would affect the Serie A club's competitiveness when we're going head to head with, of course, teams that already have more money than the Premier League. But it gives you that little, edge to say we can match the wages, especially as a free transfer, being just able to match. You don't have to beat the wages necessarily. If you can just match the wages, because on the gross wages, it costs you less than it would to employ an Italian player or an Italian. It doesn't necessarily have to be Italian, someone that has been in Italy for a while. Those guys will cost more. Like Hakan, even though he's foreign, he's been in Italy for since 2017, 2018. So he doesn't benefit from that growth decree anymore. So Inter, he earns like 6 million net. So he's on gross wages, it costs 12 million. But, someone else, like, Milan signing Yunus Musa recently, that guy doesn't. So it helps teams compete in the market. And now one of the few things Italy had, to compete with the Premier League teams and the richer teams out there, it looks like it's going away. So once again, Italian government, thank you very much. I mean, some people see this as a positive. Some people see this as a positive. I know Carlo Garganese, you might have heard of him. He's the co-host of the Italian Football Podcast. He thinks, this might, improve. Well, actually, I don't want to quote that. He might have not said this. He was talking about other stuff. But some people do think that, this means that it's better for Italian players because then Italian teams don't have to sign foreign players. But to me, it's like, especially when you're talking about the top players, it's going to affect the ability to get those top players. So to me, this is not good news at all. And it's going to be another thing that helps the downfall of Italian football once again. So not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. Weren't we fine because this was the Super League? No, we were not. We were not fined. That was the threat. That was the threat initially when the original Super League was announced, that UEFA would fine teams that partook. Blah blah blah. So no. Yeah, but that's the thing, Bobby Marley. It's not even a Serie A decision. This is a Italian government decision. So this comes from above. And Italian clubs have tried it. Serie A, the PGC, Lega Calcio have tried to lobby against this. There was supposed to be a meeting today, or kind of a discussion about this to try to extend it, at least for Italian clubs, to at least I think they said until February. So to say, at least give us the January window, that if we sign players in January, that we can at least still. So actually, yeah. So by the looks of it, let me explain this. By the looks of it, for now, again, this is not an official statement yet. So the current players that are all signed by all the Italian clubs, they're fine. So Thuram, for Inter, we're all fine. All the guys that still, anyone that benefits from this is fine. It's just in the future, any player now, and it looks like it's from January because it looks like the extension wasn't agreed. So from January, so let's say we want to sign Buchanan, even though Buchanan's wages won't be that high, they're talking about 1.5 million net or 2 million net. But now it means 2 million net will be 4 million net, whereas 2 million net with the growth decree would be about 3 million net. So it makes a little difference, but it's not the end of the world in terms of that. But it means that now Inter, there was, probably, especially with Milan, as I was saying, Milan probably preferred to go for foreign players because they haven't got the Italian tax, in terms of Italian players a little bit more expensive in general, but also the Italian taxation on top to pay. So now it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Inter in general, Marotta, as we know, our strategy has always been to try build an Italian core. And of course, we did it again this summer with getting Frattesi in. We've got Barella, we've got Bastoni, obviously Acerbi, Dimarco. Like, we've got a nice Italian core and a lot of guys that have Italy experience. I think Arnautovic probably doesn't even get growth decree, or maybe he does. But so it'll be interesting to see how it affects things moving forward. It sounds horrible. Why would they do that? Yeah, why would they, Mattia? But that's not how the Italian government thinks. This is that's the way they've started. Does Xerxes earn that much that Bologna needed the growth decree? Because I'm pretty sure isn't like Bayern Munich contributing to his wages or something. But yeah, he's probably is helping the fact that he gets that growth decree benefit. He's Dutch. He is Dutch. Who in the hell in the Italian government thought not extending this would benefit the country? Well, again, it's like, it's about politics never around. It's like, Meloni, who's the new person in charge. Her policies are a bit more, conservative, more towards, pro-Italian, so to say, less open to immigration and things like that. So they, in their thinking, and it might be right, I don't know, but in their thinking, they want to protect Italian workers. They don't want to incentivize foreign workers to come into Italy and protect the Italian labor. But at the same time, I don't see that, because, like, if, let's say, you're an accountant, if you're the best accountant working in, I don't know, Belgium or Netherlands, and you have a job offer in Italy, like, why, like, doesn't that benefit the Italian company who hires this guy from Belgium, because he's supposed to be the best in his field, and they also get, oh, what is this out of focus? Yeah, there you go. Wouldn't that benefit the Italian company that you get this guy, the best accountant that you can get, and you get growth decree benefits on that? I don't know, but it's politics. It's politics. Yeah, as Anthony Bassett, Meloni is a nationalist, so it's kind of like what happened here in the UK, kind of the Brexit type of thing of, we don't want to be kind of part of Europe anymore, and we don't want to have as many foreign workers here. So again, I'm not trying to get into politics. This is just the facts of what's happening and the facts around the decision. So yeah, basically it's kind of like that right-wing politics. That's basically what it is. Whether that's right or not, we'll see in the coming years. And it's not like Italy has been thriving over the last 2 decades. That's why, my family moved from Italy to England, because my parents, shouts out to them, they saw the downfall of the Italian economy, and they also wanted me to learn English and get an education here, which, fair play. But let's see what happens with Italy's economy in the coming years. That's also why, Serie A, culture in general has been suffering. Is the Italian economy in general hasn't been performing very well, and football is a luxury good. So when times are rough, luxury goods don't usually perform as well. I agree, Mattia, especially with, as I said, the one that worries me more is Sanchez more than Arnautovic, but we definitely need a guy that's really kind of hot on the heels of Lautaro and Thuram, where at the moment it's kind of like, we know Lautaro and Thuram are the certain starters. Like you need that competition, really, don't you? That third guy that's kind of hungry in there. Like last year we had really the best mix possible. We had like Lautaro, Dzeko, and Lukaku. Those three were really just, at any given match, because Lautaro wasn't at this level. You could say, like, this match I want Dzeko, Lukaku, or Lautaro, Lukaku, Dzeko, Lautaro, and it was, a fight for till death, between those guys. I'm sure training was always intense between those guys, because they all want to start. And then you had Correa. You had the charity case, Correa, as the fourth guy. But this year we've got the two, and then we've got the two up here. Or you've got Lautaro, that's like bam, best player in Serie A. Then you got Thuram, and then you got third Arnautovic, and then you got like Sanchez, who's at the moment completely, like as Debbie says, ready for retirement. And I am like disappointed at Sanchez, because when we signed him, I was not happy, because it's so stupid signing a guy that you pay to leave just the year before, and who is a year older, and he's already old. But I thought at least he'll be. The problem is that I'm sure you and Ian, the two biggest Correa haters, I'm sure at least you guys would have thought that Sanchez was at least an upgrade on Correa. But somehow he hasn't even managed to be an upgrade on Correa, which is like, I think that was harder to do than being doing what he's doing right now. It's crazy. So yeah. I mean, that's another thing we just know, Harry. Like, I also agree. Sometimes in these types of situations, why not bring a guy who's got fire under his belly, a young guy that's doing well in Primavera, who at the moment is that star striker who's been called up to the first team a few times now, just to make up numbers, but he has been called up. Or in the past, when it was Esposito, or when it was Satriano, like sometimes rather than signing the Felipe Caicedo situation, why not give the chance to the Primavera guy? And especially under Inzaghi, it seems like he's really allergic to this, really allergic to this. And I really do like him as a coach, but there is this side to him where I always wonder, like, especially in a team like Inter, where the resources are limited, if you can maximize just a couple of guys from Primavera, you've got assets that can help you. Even if you sell them on afterwards, you've got more money to play with potentially in the next transfer window, just if you develop a couple of guys. But obviously that's not his priority, and I'm not going to tell him how he should do his job, because he was doing a good job. But yeah, we sold Dzeko because of Lukaku. Yeah, but I mean, again, he wanted a lot of money, and again, for his age, yes, he's doing well in Turkey, but that's how Sanchez was doing well in Marseille and Ligue 1. Ligue 1 is definitely better than the Turkish league. So when we looked at Sanchez, he put up double digits, good numbers of goals and assists for Ligue 1 and for Marseille. He was playing in an intense style of football because Igor Tudor, who was the coach of Marseille last season, he plays an intense pressing style of football, and he was playing good for them. I think he won Player of the Season for them. So you would think there would be some sort of level left there, because we're talking about Dzeko doing well in the Turkish league. I mean, we saw Dzeko. Let's be honest, Mattia. You saw the downfall, the downward trajectory was there. The problem is it's just that the Arnautovic. I think it was really Arnautovic that hasn't lived up to that thing, because Thuram has definitely already surpassed Dzeko, and Lautaro's already surpassed the previous Lautaro and the previous Lukaku probably as well. It's just that Arnautovic needs to get to that level. But if Thuram was the Dzeko replacement, we're fine. It would have been nice to have Dzeko, of course, as a backup, but he wanted a lot of money for being he should have been the third striker this season. So I'm still not really losing sleep over this. Yeah, I know, as I'm saying, he's doing fantastically well, but at some point you got to move on as well. You got to move on. I don't like it when we hold on to players too long. That's what I'm hoping we don't do with Mkhitaryan now. Like, I know he's doing really well, but it looks like he's signing a new contract. Like, you gotta cut the cord before the downfall comes. Like, you're talking about 35-year-old plus guys. Like, the downfall comes. It's not like the downfall of a 28-year-old. When you're 35, you saw with Handanovic, once you hit that wall, it's not like just a slow decline. It's like a boom, fall off the face of the earth kind of decline. We saw that with Handanovic. He's a goalkeeper. The goalkeepers don't even decline as badly. So yeah, it didn't work out. But I still am not too mad about that, because I think Dzeko as well. From what I read, he still wanted to be the guy at Inter. Like, he still feels like that ego, which is good. He wanted to still be the guy for Inter. He didn't want to be a backup, and this is why he's already become the captain for Fenerbahce. So he's become the leader there, and they're paying him the salary that we were paying him. So that is very expensive for a 37-year-old. So yeah, I mean, we can disagree on that, but I'm not losing sleep over the Dzeko thing, and I'm happy he's doing well in Turkey. And yeah, I did see the Icardi Dzeko beef over last weekend, and I'm definitely Team Dzeko. I'm definitely Team Dzeko over that. If you saw it, just type in Dzeko Icardi on YouTube later, and you'll see some funny little back and forth they had on the pitch. Oh yeah, here is Mattia also trying to trigger me as usual with the Icardi comment. And yeah, Debbie Kerr puts him in his place, and of course another Icardi fanboy is in the house. Joseph, I hope you're doing well. Oh yeah, speaking of Taremi, the growth decree thing now will affect it, because whatever offer Inter have made, because it looks like we're definitely not going to sign Taremi in January, because Porto won't sell him for anything less than 15-20 million. But if we do go for him in the summer, whatever offer we've put forward to Taremi in terms of wages, now Marotta, Ausilio, Steven Zhang might have to tweak that and say "Ooh, I know we said 4 or 5 million net in the summer, or earlier on, but now with the growth decree gone, we might have to put that down to 3.5 or 3 or something. I don't know what the offer. I'm just throwing out numbers, but they might have to reevaluate the offer that they made to Taremi. Pio Esposito, yeah, but he looks like but probably Harry, what's the problem is, those type of strikers these days don't have much of a future. You need to be much more complete in terms of your style of play, unless you score a crazy amount of goals like Holland does. But Pio Esposito, how many goals did he even score in Serie B? Let's have a quick look. I know he had a couple of goals at the beginning of the season. So he's got 9. Oh God. He's got 19 appearances, 1,000 minutes, and only 2 goals in Serie B. So, man, this guy's only, was he 18, 17? Yeah, 18. So I'm not judging him on that, but yeah, he needs time to grow and grow into things. Like, yeah, I used to rate. I had kind of not high hopes, but I thought at least Satriano. I thought he would be more. My prediction was that he was going to be a better striker than Pinamonti, which is not really like a high bar or anything, but it's just that I remember Inter fans used to really rate Pinamonti highly, and I didn't. But I thought this Satriano guy, I was like, I see something. I see that dog in him. But that guy is also like, I think he's also got like 2 or 3 goals again in Ligue 1. Like he does not look like a great striker either. So we can't even say like the kind of told you so to Inzaghi, like, oh, you should have played this guy with Satriano because he's done nothing. But at the same time, he played what's his face, Felipe Caicedo, and yeah, I read Mattia straight through the screen. I can see all the way in Belgrade, looking through the camera, what Mattia is doing there with his little evil smile, typing in Icardi, trying to trigger me. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people like you that you detest Icardi from the bottom of their heart. I'm not one of them. I don't really hold like grudges like that, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the predicted lineups in for tomorrow's game. Genoa versus Inter, as I said, tomorrow 7:45 p.m. time kickoff for me here in the UK. Predicted lineup. So let's go back to that question I started from Marvel Lawson. Would you rather have Bisek or Pavard for the Genoa game? I think on form at the moment, you have to continue with Bisek. I mean, as much as I think Pavard is of course, we all know he's the starter in that position, but because of his long-term injury, he was out for pretty much almost 2 months. And it's Bisek's form. Let's be real. Like Bisek's form deserves for him to continue. I don't think he should be taken out of this team until he drops a clanger, or needs a rest or gets injured, because that's how Inzaghi operates. And I do usually agree with him, because once you kind of claim that starting spot, there shouldn't be any reason unless for rotation to take you out of the team. So yeah, and Inter will have a lot of the ball tomorrow, and Bisek is fantastic on the ball, and he might be useful to break down the low block. Acerbi, of course, he is just evergreen, ever there. He's like Mkhitaryan somehow, even though he's 35-year-old, he's still just I don't know if you guys saw Bastoni at the weekend for Christmas. You know how on this channel we always joke about Bastoni and his sore throat or flu-like symptoms all the time. He always drops out after plays 2 or 3 games in a row, and somehow he has like flu symptoms or something, and he doesn't play for a game. So for Christmas, I think it was his wife or one of his family members on his Instagram I saw posted, they gave him like a anti-sore throat kit. So it was like a little kit with like, I don't know, medicine and little pastilles that you can have if you have a sore throat. So I think it's quite well known about Bastoni's like weak immune system or sore throat. So that was funny. But with Acerbi, this guy, obviously cancer defeating king, he's just, you can always just rely on him. But he definitely deserves a rest. He needs a rest soon as well. And De Vrij is back in the squad as well. So De Vrij is back in the team. So hopefully he can start getting back some minutes, because yeah, we can't take him for granted and just keep using him. And then we know, again, he's 35-year-old. He at some point, playing him again and again, a mistake will happen, or an injury could happen. We don't want that with the Acerbi for sure. So it's good that De Vrij is back in the squad. Dumfries is still not back in the squad, even though in here it says, for some reason, on Sky Sport Italia, but I'm pretty sure I read that he's still not ready for this game. But yeah, the only players that are not available, obviously, we know Cuadrado. I think we can just cancel him out for the season now. That injury is going to take him out for at least 3 months, they said, but it might be even longer, to be honest. What's really the point of even playing him with the 1-year contract afterwards, if we sign a right wing back as well after? And as we said, Dimarco and Lautaro are still out. So yeah, this is the team I would pick. Strongest team. Arnautovic, Thuram up front, and as Harry and a few guys also said before, I do trust Arnautovic to maybe score in this game. Oh yeah, and a good shout from Mattia. I did read earlier that Fratesi had also flu I mean, it is that kind of season, to be fair. This is the season when it starts to go around, isn't it? This time of the year. But he should be fine. I read earlier on Gazzetta that he had the last few days a bit of an illness, but he is back in the team. And then, well, we know he probably wasn't going to start anyway, even if he was fully fit. Let's have a look at the Gazzetta predicted lineups. Theirs is, exactly the same. Barella, Miki, Chala, midfield, Thuram, Arnautovic up front. So, that is a good team. Let's have a quick look at the Genoa lineup. Radu Draguzin. I know we don't like guys, especially Romanian guys with the name Radu, but this guy's been having a good season. Randomly linked to us as well, but I don't believe it. I think it's his agent spreading rumors, because even been linked to Man United and like Liverpool, a random team. He's had a decent season, but nothing like that good. As we said, Malinovsky, of course, that nuclear left foot of his, always got to watch out for him, but usually he's pretty useless aside from that in terms of build-up play, passing, retaining possession. All he does is find that half a yard of space and crack it on goal. And Goodmanson, that is the guy to watch out for. Goodmanson is maybe I think I had him in my team of the season until now in the November international break. Albert Goodmanson, sorry. I think he has he's in the top 3 or top 5 for most dribbles in Serie A this season. He's the guy that likes to drift in, in this kind of space in behind the main striker, take on the man, shoot on goal, try to create something. He's a live wire, interesting player, one to keep an eye out for sure. And the main striker who is back from injury, Retegui, of course, we were linked to him for a while, Matteo Retegui. Poacher style striker, of course, Italy's number 9 now somehow. He's come back from injury, so it looks like he might not start, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does start instead of Ekuban, because he's not really much of a goal scorer. I know he scored in the last game, Ekuban, but he really struggles to score goals. But yeah, apart from that, it's a solid team. It's definitely, I think they're going to be fine. Genoa, they've been good this season. Probably, overachieved a little bit with the Gilardinos doing a good job. In terms of style of play, we've got the Opta Analyst comparison chart here. So it shows here the teams are more fast and direct in this corner, slow and intricate in this corner. So you see Inter are the most slow and intricate team in Serie A at the moment in terms of style of play. But we're also good at mixing it up, with Thuram and some guys in the counterattacks. We are deadly as well. Genoa are kind of towards the middle, so they are kind of a direct, fast counterattacking team, but they can also, I've seen them, they try to play out from the back as well. Gilardino is kind of a, most of the new coaches nowadays, the ones that are in the early 40s, late 30s, they've all been learning, the way to play out from the back. Like no one's really a Catenaccio type of coach these days, one of the younger ones. So Gilardino is part of this new school, but they can mix it up, Genoa. They can make life difficult. They can be quite physical. That midfield isn't the most technical midfield, but it's definitely a hard-working and physical midfield that will make life difficult. The weakness is kind of on the wing backs. Vasquez is even a centre back, and he's being deployed as a left wing back for some reason. Sabelli is very average. So yeah, Martinez is a decent goalkeeper, but nothing special. But they're a decent team. In terms of our record against Genoa, they obviously were relegated in the previous season. Last season, they weren't there. So the last time we played them was in Inzaghi's first season. And that's the game that I was talking about earlier, 0-0. We were chasing Milan back there. I remember this is when we brought Felipe Caicedo on for one of his only appearances at Inter for like 5 minutes. And he did nothing. But in general, we usually have a really good record against Genoa, home and away. You can see over the years, we usually do smash them without even conceding. We haven't conceded against Genoa for look at that, since 2019, and probably even more if the record went further back. But away, they can make life difficult for sure. they can make life difficult for sure. No, Retegui's not out for the season. He's back, but I'm saying yeah, he's going to be on the bench. But yeah, in the Gazzetta lineup, they've got Retegui starting. So yeah, he's back from injury now, but he's definitely not out for the season. That 0-0 game was that's what I always to say. People always blame the Scudetto loss to Milan to like that derby game where we lost to them when we were 1-0 up and blah blah blah. But to me, there were so many more other games where we lost points on the way, and this was one of them. That Genoa game, there was that Torino game, of course, the famous Bologna game. So there was that game. Yeah, this was part of that streak, wasn't it? The Genoa was part of that 7 games, 7-point streak that we went through. That was when we lost the Scudetto, not the Milan derby. It was that streak of 7 games, 7 points that lost us Scudetto. So not good memories away at Genova. So I hope the team doesn't underestimate this. But again, the bench is pretty strong in terms of if we are struggling, you can bring on someone like Frattesi to provide threat off the bench, even Sensi, and maybe Sanchez, maybe Dumfries if he's got some minutes in him. Oh yeah, speaking of Agume, so yeah, there was some links to Sevilla that apparently Sevilla won him on loan. Sevilla were like 3 points away from relegation, by the way, in La Liga. They're really, really struggling. So yeah, I just want Agume. Like if you've followed me on this channel for a while, I've never understood our treatment of Agume. Not that I think like there's some Inter fans on Twitter that seem to think that he should be the starting regista Inter for some reason, but I just don't understand how you undervalue an asset, because this guy, you signed him for like 5-6 million when he was like 17 or 18 years old from Sochaux in France, and he was the captain of the France under 21 team, if I'm correct, or under 19 team. Like he was in the same age category of not Camavinga, Tchouaméni in that France team, and I think he was the captain of that team, and he was more highly rated than Tchouaméni. And then he goes to these 2 loan spells in Ligue 1 where he did pretty decent in both those spells, and you relegate him to just a squad player. He never gets any minutes. I think he's got like 3 minutes this season or something like that. Like, yeah, I just don't understand I'm not saying he should be playing for Inter. I'm just saying if you're not going to play him, loan him and get money out of him. I just don't really understand the usage of Agume. So I hope this, La Liga thing would suit him as well. He's got a very lethargic style of play, Agume, but very technical. So I think La Liga would probably fit him. Sevilla, even though they're struggling, that's a good, place to get some recognition, and maybe we can sell him on. So I hope that happens for him, to be honest. But yeah, guys, let's finish up on match predictions. Give me your match predictions with these current lineups that we talked about. I think it's definitely good enough to beat Genoa away. Yeah, definitely need a goal. Thuram wasn't good last game, so I'm hoping Thuram bounces back from his poor game last time around against Lecce. But really, the one we need a goal from is Arnautovic. He needs to get the monkey off his back and kind of just, play a bit more free and finally show us the real, Marco Arnautovic, show us that he can be useful. So let's finish up on those match predictions. Edson, not so confident. He is saying 1-1. Oh yeah, of course, Agume. But I think Agume rejected like Serie B offers and like Serie A offers because he knows that, those types of teams don't usually give him much play time. But yeah, maybe he also played a part in that by playing himself on that. Mattia reckons a negative Mattia is back. But actually, yeah, out of all games, this is the one that I am also like, I'm pretty much predicted a win for all the games recently. But this one might be the one where I might just go for a little, I don't know, without Lautaro, Arnautovic kind of struggling mentally at the moment. I can see this being like the banana skin game where we're expecting a win, and we don't do it. But again, last time around against Lecce, I predicted a narrow win, but then we got 2-0. But I think I'll go for another narrow win, like a 1-0 again. Same prediction I did against Lecce. I'm gonna go for. I know I got famous for those 1-1 predictions, but I think I'm gonna go for a narrow 1-0 win. Ahmad says 3-0 Thuram double and Hakan goal. That would be lovely. But honestly, I really hope Arnautovic scores because he really needs it. And I would like to see Mkhitaryan score. Mkhitaryan hasn't scored for a while, and he does get into good positions. And Mkhitaryan needs to be doing better with his skill set as well. I'm always surprised at how little Mkhitaryan scores in this Inter team, especially knowing what he used to do in the past. It was good to see Barella scoring again in past games, so that's fine. Matty Doms, I think Matty Doms hasn't scored yet this season. It'd be good to see Matty Doms scoring a goal as well. Or Cherby, a corner goal from a Cherby, that would make my day. A 1-0 goal with an Cherby header. Clean sheet. Wow, that's perfect for me. Never round has changed his mind. 1-0 penalty. Of course, we'll take that. The most important thing is, of course, the 3 points because Juve, let's have a look who are Juve playing and the other Serie A teams, because obviously that's what we're looking out for. Juve at the moment, they are our contenders for the Scudetto. Juve get away at Roma. Yeah, Mattia read my mind. Roma usually pretty useless against Juventus, so I'm not expecting much. But they've picked up form recently. Roma, they beat Napoli. I guess it's not too hard to beat Napoli these days. So maybe they're in. I think Dybala should be back for this game, right? Let's have a look at the predicted lineups for the Roma game. Here we are, Juve Roma. Yeah, Dybala is back, so that gives me a bit of confidence. Lukaku, yeah, I'm not expecting any favor from Lukaku unless there's a penalty. But Dybala being back, that gives me a bit more confidence. Even though this team doesn't particularly give me confidence, especially this guy in goal. Who else they've got out? Yeah, Smalling is really the real big miss. None of the other guys are that big, much of a miss. War, I don't know what's happened to him since he signed. I wanted him at Inter. But yeah, and Juve, of course, we know their team. Just so, but who have they go out? So Cambiaso is out with the disqualified. Moise Keane, De Sciglio, Fagioli, yeah, no, we know Fagioli. Chiesa's a out, Alexander's a out, Locatelli's a out. Yeah, maybe. A draw. I mean, it is at the Juventus Stadium, so a draw is the best case scenario I see, to be honest. Yeah, without Lauti, it's definitely going to be a struggle, Debbie. Stanislav says 2-0. You will win easily, I hope not. Last year, Roma got 4 points. Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know. In my mind, I always think just like Roma always get thrashed by Juve, but they got 4 points last year, so maybe. Yeah, as I said, because I didn't. If Dybala is back and fully fit, I think Dybala, Lukaku, I think they are the best partnership in Serie A after Lautaro and Thuram, if I'm not mistaken. So, in terms of goal scoring, so we'll see. We used to rule as a Milan team years ago. Yeah, and we still do, Mattia. We still roll the eyes 2 years. But yeah, with the Juve team, it's the 1 game a week thing. We can roll our eyes all we want, but we know with Allegri and the 1 game a week, that's what we've been talking about since the start of the season. But yeah, hopefully Mourinho can do us a favor. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for the post-match reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Keep an eye out for the transfer news. Let's see what happens with Buchanan in the coming days. And the Decreto Crescita news, the growth decree news, as we talked about it. Let's see what happens. But yeah, hope everything goes well tomorrow. Any other big games? Have a quick look for Serie A. Milan, Sassuolo. I mean, Sassuolo, yeah, you never know what type of Sassuolo you can get. But we don't really care about Milan anymore, do we now? Yeah, apart from that, it's not really a big weekend in Serie A. Cagliari Empoli is a good, relegation scrap. But yeah, pretty mid weekend in Serie A apart from Juve Roma. So, I mean, even Juve Roma is only a good game if you enjoy complete terrorism, which I do. But yeah, thank you everyone that tuned in. I hope you guys appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one. Ciao ragazzi, Forza Inter. Come on, Arnautovic, score a goal tomorrow. Second star mission continues.